It's been all over Twitter. Everyone is having to make the decision. Are they going to keep the Vision Pro or not? LK, I would love for you to weave in whether or not you're keeping your Vision Pro into this story, but take it away.
Yeah, well, funny enough, I am still not decided. I'm totally wavering. Like I went into it figuring, yeah, I'm definitely going to return it because it's so expensive. And, we'll do a quick review and then I'll send it back to Apple. But now I'm very much on the fence. But partly that's because of a sort of editorial decision, because it seems like it's wise to keep it because we need it to make content for the site. That's our bread and butter, writing about Apple products. This is the first major new category of product they've had in at least a decade. So that's definitely factoring into it. Anyway, to get back to the point is that, like, I've never seen anything like this. There's been all over Twitter, hundreds, well, dozens, or if not hundreds of people are saying, they're going to be returning their Vision Pro headsets. And when the 2-week window is up, for a lot of the early adopters, the people who got it on the first day of sales, they have to return them by Friday, the 16th, February the 16th, or at least this weekend. So you're seeing on Twitter and a lot of the other social channels that people are saying that, yeah, they're going to return their Vision Pro. And I've never seen anything like this with any other Apple product. No one said that about the first iPhone, although the social, Twitter wasn't the kind of phenomenon it was, or the social media channels weren't the phenomenon it was when the iPhone came out, of course. But, I think there's been plenty of other Apple products that have been candidates for mass returns, possibly Apple Silicon. People have been disappointed by those. So it's unusual to see so many people saying that they're going to be returning a product, especially one that's got, it's gotten really rave reviews, although they've been definitely mixed reviews. There's a very, very big caveat, which is, this thing's magical. It's totally amazing. It's a glimpse of the future, but, a lot of people are just struggling, I think, to find a daily use case for this, and they're finding it hard to justify spending $3,500 on something that gives you, it's great to watch movies in, but at the same time, you're cut off from all your kids, your family. You're the only person who can experience this stuff. All the different things, the criticisms that people are weighing against the headset, I think, are weighing on the price. And so a lot of people making that calculation that it's a lot of money to be keeping something that they don't really find is an absolute must-have.
Yeah, that kind of summarizes how I feel about it. I really want to keep it because it is so cutting edge, and there's some things that it does so well, and obviously I want to keep it because it would be good to see how the product develops over time. But it's $3,500 plus tax.
Right.
Like, it's almost $4,000, and I keep thinking to myself, $4,000 is a lot, and I can employ that money in different ways and buy multiple products that I might actually use on a daily basis. And I think, well, I don't want to get ahead of you here because I think you're going to talk about some of the other reasons that people are returning them. Did you already cover these? Let's see here.
The reasons?
Yeah, like the primary reasons aside from the cost that people are returning it.
Yeah, I think there were three main reasons, and it was sort of weight and comfort was a big one. A lot of people find it uncomfortable. A lot of people find it too heavy. That was definitely factoring into people's decision. The isolation, I think, was possibly the biggest reason. The fact that you can't share these experiences, no matter how incredible they are.
Yeah.
And the third reason was, I think just, people. I think a lot of people went into it thinking that they were going to try it. They knew that they were going to return it when they bought it, and because of Apple's generous, no questions asked return policy, as long as it's in good shape and the packaging is in pretty good shape, you can take it back to the store, no problem at all. And I think a lot of people, that definitely, that was my plan from the very get-go. It was like, yeah, as soon as I couldn't meet the Apple Store staffers in the eye, I couldn't look them in the eye, because I
You're too guilt-ridden.
Yeah. And I knew.
See you in 2 weeks.
Right, exactly. Precisely. That's exactly what I was planning. Because now I'm sort of like double thinking it. and I'm wondering whether I am actually going to return it. I think, more than likely I am. And that was the other interesting thing, I think, as well, is that I think almost everybody who said they were going to return it, everybody said, yeah, I'm going to be back for version 2. No doubt about it.
That's for the next return wave.
Yeah, I was going to say for 2 weeks.
Well, a lot of people were rubbing their hands at the prospect of hitting at the refurb store. They're going to have a lot of these on the Apple refurbished online store in a couple of months.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a ton. Although I will be curious to see how much of a discount they have to employ to get people to scoop all those up. Like, I don't know if 10% would be enough, or even 15%. Like, I mean, that is obviously for many people going to be the biggest reason is the price. And I think you're right. A lot of people did buy this knowing they were going to return. I mean, even I felt bad because I was on the fence when I bought it, but I went into it with the mindset of like, look, there's a 2-week return policy. I'm going to use it for 2 weeks, and maybe this thing will win me over, because at this point, I don't know if it's something that I would use regularly enough to justify the cost. And it does some things incredibly well, like that cinema mode where you can be sitting in like a full-blown movie cinema and change like where you're sitting in the movie theater, like in the balcony, on the floor, like in the front row, in the middle row. Like, that is incredible technology and is so immersive. But to the points that you brought up earlier, as immersive and mesmerizing as the experience is when you're wearing it, it is the exact polar opposite for everyone watching you use it. It is completely disconnecting. My wife hates the thing, and she hates that it even exists. She doesn't want me wearing it in the house or around anyone. She doesn't care about the ghost eyes. She hates it, and she hates what it's going to do to society. And she keeps bringing up the Wall-E references. She's like, next thing you need is the floating chair. And I'm like, yeah, all right, well, do they sell those yet? Because I'd actually be interested in that. So you really, you can't use this around other people, at least not at this point. And then the other part is, and everyone's got different levels of head and neck strength. My neck is fine. That was something that people have complained about. But for me, it's like the face pressure. The thing is too heavy, or at least it is not well balanced. Like, they should have done something to address the balance issues. It's way too front heavy, and I find it to be fatiguing to wear. And there was a tweet by, let's see here, where is it? We have it in the story, actually, by Snazzy Labs. I'm gathering some web assets for my Vision Pro video on my Mac Studio and my Studio Display. The Vision Pro is within reach. I haven't used it today. I have no desire to wear it to perform this specific task. That's kind of how I felt. I like wearing it in certain entertainment situations, but beyond that, I just don't really want to wear it. I'd rather just do stuff on my Mac from a productivity standpoint. And it reminds me a lot of like the Wii gaming scenario, where motion gaming was like this really cool, huge fad. And then everyone decided like we didn't want to watch or didn't want to use motion controls anymore. We just wanted to have a normal controller. And I kind of think that is at play here too. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, this is really cool, but I'd rather just be on my Mac, or I'd rather just use my TV. Now, Griffin may change all of our minds when he comes in later to talk about wearing it while he's exercising, which just sounds gross to me, having sweat pouring down your face on the interior of this thing. Ugh. I did a poll, and I know Colton Mac did a poll too, which I didn't even see when I did my poll, just asking people if they were going to keep it or return it. And 52.2%, so 134 people have responded, have said they're going to return it. And only 47.8% of people said they're going to keep it. And Leander, I think you mentioned this in your story, like, if more than half or even half of the people are going to be returning this, that this has got to be a massive, probably one of the biggest return waves Apple has ever seen for any product. I mean, iPhones can't possibly be anywhere near. I would imagine iPhone returns are in the single digits, if I had to guess.